Today's video, Male Best Friends Get Brutally Honest by Jubilee. Let's get right into it.
I'm Ka Takahashi, and today's episode of Split Decision is about male best friends. Today, you're gonna have the most vulnerable conversation of your lives. So leave your masculinity at the door and let those feelings fly. The first prompt is,
You know, I actually think it's very masculine to talk about your feelings, but not in the traditional way, not like spilling your heart out to women, but just being able to recognize when there's something built up inside of you and actually going to therapy and getting help for that. Not just like the women in your life or the men in your life. I mean, yeah, you can spill out your feelings to your friends because I think that men understand men better than women do. And I've seen so many times online where women will say something like, you know, oh, we want men to be more open about their feelings. And then on the back end, you see stories of women who will be like, I wanted my man to be more open. And as soon as he was vulnerable to me, I was instantly turned off and I didn't know how to feel about it anymore or about him.
my best friend has bad taste in romantic partners. Make your split decisions in 3, 2, 1. All right, go ahead and turn around.
I'm sorry.
Grant, I have to start with you because you did the slowest step.
Well, Alden's married.
Okay. Do you not like his wife?
She's fine.
That's kind of fucked. I don't think he actually thinks she's fine, and he doesn't like his wife. Now, I'm the type of person that when it comes to somebody's partner, and this is a rule that I've had with my friends since I was in high school because of an experience that I had back when I was a junior in high school, we don't actually interact with each other's partners. Like, we don't have them on social media, we don't have their phone numbers, we're not friends. The only time I'm interacting with this person is when I'm around my friend. There's nothing outside of that that I would need from that person. And so I tend to pretty much stay out of my friends' relationships, and we don't even talk about stuff like that because I don't want to know, because it's not any of my business. Unless a friend wants to tell me, like, hey, I need to talk to you about something. You know, I need your honest opinion on something that's going on in my relationship. And that's how it's always been. So it looks like maybe he knows, he's probably confided something in his best friend about his wife or his now wife, and that made him not like her for that reason, because obviously you're going to gravitate towards your friend. As a friend, you're going to care more about what's going on with your friend than you are about what's going on with their partner.
She's fine.
I mean, I love Alden to bits, so obviously anyone he cares about, I care about a lot as well. But I think I wish they were more pleasant to be around together. Part of it could just be like jealousy of, like, you know, taking Alden's attention away from me.
And do you know he feels this way?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get so much shit right now because so after this, we're all gonna, like, me and her and Grant are gonna hang out. And she was like, I don't want to hang out with Grant. I don't think he likes me.
Oh.
Yo, that's kind of shit. It seems kind of sus. It's one thing being best friends with somebody, but it looks like Asian dude here is attracted to his best friend. Because that's not something I'm like jealous of. Like, we grow up, we have lives, we get married. Like, that's his primary focus now. You guys are best friends, not fucking boyfriend and boyfriend. Why does it matter that he's spending more time with his wife? As he should, right? It's his wife. You guys are best friends. I used to hang out with my best friends all the time when I was younger, right? We used to spend all our time together. Now, as we've grown apart, if I see them once a year, I'm lucky because we all now live in different states and we have so much stuff going on in life. Like, life happens. I can't just spend all my time with my friends anymore. And so the way that he's jealous about him spending more time with his wife than he is with him, seems like there's more than just friendship feelings there. And he did seem a little zesty, so I don't know.
And I'm like, no, he likes you. He likes you. He's like, stop gaslighting. I know he likes me.
Actually, you know what? I think, you know what it is? I feel like Alden's very different when it's the three of us, or just like her influence on Alden, and I don't really like the direction.
What's he like when they're together?
Subservient.
Yeah,
Subservient.
I feel like Alden's more comfortable with toxicity now than he was before.
Alden, go ahead.
Oh no, actually, I only answered yes because Grant tweeted earlier, like, I choose women that are bad for me.
But like, there's more to, like, I'm attracted to things that are like bad for me, which is why I choose to date people I'm not attracted to. Does that make sense?
That's kind of shit. Date people that you're not attracted to. And you're just wasting their time and your time.
No.
That makes no sense.
Okay, so Oren,
Yeah.
your best friend has bad taste in romantic partners?
It's not that he has bad taste. Just the guys he tries to get himself involved with. I'm like, but no, red flag, red flag, red flag. But he's just like, but he's so cute. And I'm like, no.
I mean, he's got a point. Like, he's had pretty successful relationships where if it's not going well, he can get himself out of it, where it's a little different for me. I think I like get a little stuck.
All right. So Michael, you say yes.
Well, yeah, I say yes because this man loves his goth alternative women. And I'm not saying all women who dress like that. I'm just saying the ones he's chosen have not been the kindest to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna agree with him for the most part. The problem is I just find myself landing in the lap of these situations more, and I don't know how I get there.
It's like he's cursed.
It's,
Let's just say that, yeah.
Would you say you're cursed?
you know, maybe.
Trevor, he's really, really religious, and he'll be like, look what I found. You know, this is really cool girl. Then I see her bio, it's like 666, like hail Satan.
Yo, how are you like a really religious person and then you're into like goth girls? That's like, doesn't mesh. It's not, that person's most likely not gonna have the same values that you have. Goth people usually, I don't wanna say always, but they're usually into like occult shit, or they're into that 666 stuff, or you know, the pentagrams and all that. And it literally goes against all of the values that religion predicates or spouses, right? It's literally never gonna work. And this is something I've talked about in previous videos, that when you get with somebody, you should be trying to get with somebody who holds similar values to you. Like, for example, whether you want kids to, you know, have phones growing up or whatever, you know, how you want to raise those kids, if you believe in marriage, if you believe in the church, stuff like that. That stuff is fundamental. And if you're not even in agreement there, eventually it's not gonna work. It's gonna become a problem enough that it's gonna start affecting the relationship.
So Christian.
Yeah, I feel like he chooses what he kind of like feels. Like, I feel like he'll tell me these things and I'm just kind of like, this is a huge red flag. Like, do not, like, stop talking to this person. And then he'll go back to him and then just proceed to do the complete opposite of what I told him.
Yeah, I
Literally have a friend like that. Literally does exact same thing. I don't know how many times I've had conversations with this person now with multiple relationships, because he seeks me out for advice. This is one of the friends that actually seeks me out for relationship advice. Now, I've had more experiences when it comes to relationships, and I want to say that he's well-meaning, but I think he's very naive about relationships. And he's the type of person, he has attachment issues he's told me about because of things that's happened to him, you know, that happened to him in his childhood. I see, you know, from an outsider looking in, based on what he's told me, I see the things that he's doing and I tell him, hey, I think you're doing something wrong. Like, for example, previous relationship he was in, he started dating this girl. From the very first day he started dating her, he spent literally the entire week together with this person. I told him, bro, you're going too fast, like too fast, too soon. You are literally spending too much time with this girl. Give her a chance to miss you. Literally a couple of days later, after this happened, he told him that everything was moving too fast and maybe they should just be friends. Basically friend zoning him after that. And it was like, and I told him, I was like, bro, it was literally because you didn't, from day one you guys went on one date and from that day you guys didn't separate. You didn't give her a chance to miss you. She's already thinking in her head, well, if he's like this now and we're just getting to know each other, how is it gonna be like when we're together? Like, you don't just jump into crazy spending all your time together 24/7. Like, you're not in high school. That stuff you did in high school, cool, because you didn't know any better, you're learning. But when you're older and you're growing, you're a grown man, no, you take your time getting to know the person. I've told them, listen, if you're in a relationship with a person and you really see yourself with this person long term, why do you feel the need to spend 24/7 with this person? If you expect to be with them long term, possibly the rest of your life, if it gets to that point, you have all the time in the world to do everything that you want to do. You don't have to do it all in the first month. Once you do everything, then what? And he was also in that kind of similar situation. Just like I said, same thing. He had a problem, turned out bad. I don't really want to get into too many details, but yeah, literally have a friend that's just like this guy.
to like a certain point, yeah, I think he's like pretty right. I personally like his girlfriend a lot. I mean, he's only dated like one person, so I feel like it's kind of.
Wait, are you in a relationship right now?
No, more like situationship type
Okay.
of thing. That's typically what I tend to like be in most of the time.
The next prompt is, I've seen my best friend's junk. Do you know what I mean? Make your split decisions in 3, 2, 1.
I feel like that's a pretty straightforward yes or no question. It's not like, oh, make your split decision, like you gotta think about it. Like, have I ever seen it?
Turn around.
What was he thinking about?
He's like, God, why are we talking about this?
Like, which time? Like,
Okay, well, can I preface something, which is just that when you're young, you think it's really funny, but then you learn that some things are not okay. That's sexual assault. And I would never do that now that I'm not a teenager. But when you're younger, you think, oh, this is gonna be really funny, make the boys laugh.
Now you're,
Yo, how do you not know whether you've seen your friends meet or not? Like, that doesn't even make sense. It's a yes or no question that you should be able to answer.
I had a realization.
Okay, so it's,
you came to yes later. So what was that about?
Oh, I had a memory
You talking about what happened recently?
with a pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want me to say it?
Fine,
He
I
peed on me.
You peed on him?
Yeah.
I crashed at his
That's wild. Now, let's hear the context.
place.
And I was nice enough to give him my bed.
This guy
and I
has a
slept on the
twin-size
floor.
bed. He's 36
Shut up,
years
shut up,
old,
shut up,
and
shut
he
up.
has a twin-size bed.
Yes, I have a twin size bed.
So I got his bed. He was sleeping on the floor, and I guess in the middle of the night, I just stood up, pulled it out.
I thought that he was spilling a drink.
and just
until-
start peeing right next to him. And he sees me with my thing out, pissing right on his pillow, and he didn't wake me up. He didn't do anything. Apparently, I put it back, went back to bed.
Oh, it was like sleep peeing, sleepwalking. Question for everybody. Do y'all know?
That's wild. That's wild. And well, you shouldn't wake up a sleepwalking person anyway, so that guy did the right thing. But it sounds like he peed on me, so it sounds like he just stayed there and took it. Like he wanted to be peed on, like that was some sort of fantasy. Because I would have moved.
The next prompt is, I feel comfortable crying in front of my best friend. Make your split decisions in 3, 2, 1. For the most part, we're yes, but
I've never cried in front of my best friends. There's never been a reason for me to cry in front of my best friends. Like I said, we don't really talk about emotions much. I've never had a reason to like have a heart-to-heart and start crying. I like that these guys are comfortable with their, comfortable enough to cry in front of their friends. And I wouldn't say I'm not comfortable, but I usually don't go to my best friends to talk about my problems. If I have problems, I'll go get some therapy.
no.
Yeah, so if there was anyone I was going to cry in front of, he'd probably be one of the few people I could. The problem is that like I've always had a real hard time showing emotion in front of people, just the way I've grown up, and I have this bad problem. I feel like I'm burdening people.
Yeah, I mean, I'll cry right now in front of the camera. I don't care who I cry in front of. With Trevor, most of our conversations happen through online, like through like a voice chat or something. So we're never like face to face really when we're talking like that. But yeah, he doesn't really share a lot or get really emotional in front of anybody.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm pretty open with my feelings. This guy doesn't cry as much, I think.
I don't think I've ever
I
cried
don't
in front of
I
you.
remember you ever crying in front of me, but I know he would if he needed to.
I'm a tough cookie.
He is. He doesn't like to show his emotions.
For me, it helps me when I'm feeling that way. And I feel like for him, it would help to just kind of let everything out.
Grant, Alden.
Well, I don't think either of us cry that much. Not because we're too macho or whatever. Oh, my dad used to do this thing where he would yell at me when I was practicing violin, and he yelled at me more if I started crying. So I got really good at not crying, and I haven't been able to cry since.
Yeah.
And I think that's just I would totally cry for you.
Yeah.
I don't even know the last time I cried in general.
Exactly. That's
so.
what I'm saying. I think maybe either when my cousin died or my.
Oh yeah. I haven't cried since like 5th grade, I think.
Which is crazy because he's so sad. He's one of the saddest guys I know.
Dude, I wish I would cry. Crying, I've heard feels so good.
For the criers, does crying feel good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it fixes everything.
It's much needed.
The next prompt is, you've had sex or been in love with the same person. Make your split decisions in 3, 2, 1. This is interesting. So you're standing on yes, but you're standing on no.
Well, we like the same person in high school.
That's
right?
what I'm talking about.
No, but
I'm talking about high school. I'm talking
love
about
is
Maria.
a very strong
Love
word.
is a
okay?
strong, but when you're in high school, love is
Yeah,
anything.
and
you love a Pop-Tart.
I don't know. I think I'm no, I did like her, and then Alden dated her, and they had a beautiful relationship. Now we hate her now. She made Alden sad.
We don't hate her. We don't hate her. No, she's lovely.
Oh, he doesn't hate her.
It was
I hate her.
It was a high school relationship.
Grant, how did that make you feel when Alden got together with the girl that you liked?
Obviously, you ran it past me beforehand, and to a certain extent, it's I'm always happy for you, and I want the best for you, right? Sometimes things that your successes sometimes kind of make me feel bad about myself and where I am at in my life, and not so much right now. But I think back then, Alden had a very great high school experience, and I did not, and this was just one attribute of many different attributes.
For me and my best friend, one of them, yeah. Back in our younger days, we've done a lot of wild stuff. Same women.
But I think that was really, there was a guy that I was attracted to, and Oren ended up
I was
hooking up
being
with
shady
him.
and
I know it wasn't even his type of man.
not
That's why
at
I was
all.
just really surprised that he would even do that. And so it was
Really?
we stopped talking for a little bit.
But the rift that it caused our relationship, I was never again. I'm not doing that. We had this little running gag with the seagulls from Finding Nemo, where it's mine,
Somebody walks into the bar,
mine.
The next prompt is, I've had a harder life than my best friend. Make your split decisions in 3, 2, 1. So Michael, you say yes, you've had a
Yeah,
harder life.
I don't like saying ever that anybody has a tougher life than anybody else. Everybody has their own struggles. But I think textbook-wise, I would say yes, just because I had my mom pass away 3 years ago. Also, my parents were immigrants, but I don't discount any of the troubles that he's gone through or anything like that.
I would agree with him, yeah.
Yeah, so I want to say I've had a pretty tough life, had a pretty shitty life. But yeah, I can't compare because I do think just like him that my life was probably tougher than a lot of my friends growing up. But then again, I don't really know what they were going through growing up. You know what I mean? I'm in a pretty good spot now, and so are my friends. But growing up, yeah, it was tough for me. I definitely overcame a lot.
Grant, you say yes.
Obviously, you've had a lot of hardship as well, but I think just like I kind of inherited a lot more, intergenerational trauma. I was like very suicidal in like high school and like in college, and Alden he's pretty happy, I would say, on a regular basis, and that's great for you.
Alden, you want to respond?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're in agreement on this. I think, yeah, so we had really different upbringings, and I think his was a lot harder. And it was really tough seeing what he had to go through as a kid.
I kind of agree with that too, because I wasn't saying that we had like harder lives or anything, but I feel like there's an aspect of my life that he didn't have to deal with, which was like I'm bi, so like he did not have to go through that like internal struggle with himself of like, is my family gonna accept me, or like what are my friends gonna think? I had like an internal struggle even just with him, like coming out to him. He's actually the first person I told. So I ended up just telling him, and maybe he was going through like something personal, but he kind of went like a little ghost on me. So it did kind of hurt in the moment, but I mean, he told me later that he had like personal things going on, but I didn't know that. So from hindsight, I'm just kind of like, oh, I just came out to you, and then you kind of just, I don't know, we didn't feel as close for a bit. But.
No. I could have handled him coming out a lot better because I feel like he went through like a lot of struggles because I feel like we both come from very like conservative, like macho like Mexican parents. But I wish I would have been there and been able to talk to him a little bit more thoroughly and kind of put in that extra effort, I don't know, that a best friend should.
The next prompt is, my best friend has saved my life. Make your split decisions in 3, 2, 1.
Mine is no. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where my friend has needed to save, my best friend has, or any of my best friends saved my life from anything, and vice versa. I've never really been in that situation either.
Okay, go ahead and turn around. So, Grant, you say Alden has saved your life.
Yeah, 100%. The summer approaching like senior year in college, I had like a very big mental breakdown, starving myself, just like in my room all day, and like I really just wanted to like die all the time. And yeah, the first time like anyone like ever like just like reached out to me was like it was on July 14th, which is like Bastille Day, and like we Alden kind of just like texted me, and we lit fireworks in his backyard. And then I had like a lot of cuts on my arms back then, so and he saw them, and he was like, what's going wrong? And then we had this like really nice drive. We just kind of like drove around the neighborhood we grew up in for like hours, and then just like talked about shit. And then we watched Pirates of the Caribbean, all three. Like, it was truly just the one moment where I was like I actually like needed someone to like care that I exist, and then he did. If it wasn't for them, like I don't know like where my life would have gone. I don't even know if I'd be alive by now. And it was truly one of those things where it's just like this is the single most important thing that like ever happened to me, and nothing ever comes close since then.
Wow. And have you told Alden this?
Not really. We kind of just like.
I was wondering when you stepped on the yes. I was like, what are you thinking about right now?
Yeah.
Well, Alden, what does this mean to you?
I mean, I love Grant, and I would do anything for Grant, and his feelings mutual. Like I knew he was hurting, and I remember seeing the marks, and I remember like, but it's and it was very. I remember my friend is hurting. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I mean, it's also like, but it's the thing. When I hit Grant up to hang out, I wasn't thinking, oh.
You weren't thinking I'm gonna save his life.
I want to save Grant's life. I was thinking, I want to see my best friend. Where let's get something together. Let's light some fireworks in my backyard and post some pictures on the Instagram so all the girls see. And so, and they did see. So.
So Oren, Jeremy has saved your life?
He, like, even though I called myself a tough cookie, he has managed to be there for me, knowing exactly what to do in all the right moments without me having to tell him what I needed. It's gonna be actually really hard for me to talk about without cracking. But yeah, he's in my worst fallouts and loss with my mom, and he's just there. I'm good. I need to go any further.
Yeah, you can go.
I'm good. I'm crying on the internet. This is terrific.
Okay, I mean, why not?
That you've saved his life?
Yeah, I assumed. I mean, he's gone through a lot, so I appreciate him opening up when he does. Like, I wish he would open up a little more, but it's good to see him cry.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah, it happened.
That was one of the questions.
There we go. It happened
It
now.
happened now.
Yeah.
Okay, the next prompt is, my best friend has a toxic personality trait. Make your split decisions in 3, 2, 1.
I think we all do. As I've gotten older, I've learned to realize and better spot the things that are negative about me. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, I know that there's a lot of things that I need help with in my life. And I mean a lot of things, you know, and there's a lot of improvements that I need to make about myself. I have friends that have toxic traits as well, and that, you know, we've talked about, but you know, that's up to them to figure out what they want to do. They've never been toxic to me. It's usually when it comes to other things, everyone has something that's toxic.
All right, everybody, go ahead and turn around. Michael over here with 0 personality traits. Give me one of these.
We're both really stubborn. Very, very stubborn.
You know,
Yes,
I'll give him that.
if you're in a debate with him, he will always circle back to what he thinks is right. But like, I think you should have went to yes, because I'm also very stubborn.
But you didn't go to yes.
The reason I didn't go to yes is because when I think bad about like something he may be doing, I'd say like kind of fault it as my own. Like I kind of think I'm just being judgmental, right? So, but you know, I'll agree with him.
Grant, what's Alden's toxic personality trait?
So there are 3 that come to mind. First, I think Alden is like way too kind.
You take that back.
That's not toxic.
Like he's very trusting, and he always gives people the benefit of the doubt. And I think you should be more distrustful in general. I think your apartment is like filthy. It's so dirty. And
That's not
we lived together
toxic,
in college,
that's
so
just
call him
messy.
out.
It's
lastly,
just a messy person. That's not a toxic.
I think Alden should spend more.
I think people have warped the definition of the word toxic to mean something that it doesn't actually mean anymore. Anything can be considered toxic. Oh, you don't like to do the dishes as soon as you're done eating or done cooking. Well, that's toxic. You know, you're a messy person. That's toxic. You don't like to take out the trash. That's toxic. I don't know. But just like mundane things that are like, okay, maybe you can be a little better when it comes to stuff like that, but it doesn't make you toxic. Toxic is being like a narcissist. Toxic is like gaslighting people. Toxic is cutting people off for little to no reason. Toxic is doing something and expecting no reaction, or getting a reaction and then be appalled at the reaction that you got. Toxic is thinking that you're always right no matter what. You will twist somebody's words no matter what to make it seem like you're always right. And I've known people like that. I know people like that. That's toxic. And I'm sure there are plenty more examples, but the examples that he's given are, that's not being toxic.
More money. He like maxes out his 401k, which is great in theory, but like we might not even be alive when we're like 59 and ready to like pull it out. So like, what's the point in doing that, right?
Yo, that guy sounds like a very responsible person, and his best friend's like, you're toxic because you are thinking about the future. You're kind of messy, but then that's toxic. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? What is he talking about? Because maxing out your 401k is not toxic at all. I match my 401k at my job. They match at 6%. Guess what? I match at 6%. When I was younger, I didn't think about shit like that because I didn't care. I'm like, I kind of had the same mentality he did, but like you got to think about your future. This guy likes to live in the moment, and it sounds like he's the one that's fucking toxic. I don't disagree that maybe you don't need to be all the way trusting of everyone you meet. He makes it, I don't know. It just sounds like the shit that he has gripes with, there's stupid things to gripe about. Especially the one about saving money and maxing your 401k.
That's just my hot take.
Jesus, I thought I was judgmental.
Like, Grant's always been very judgmental, but not in a bad way, just part of his beautiful personality.
Is that the toxic
No,
trait?
it's not a toxic
No, that's
trait.
not the one we're talking about.
I don't think that's a toxic trait. I don't
Okay.
mean, I don't think any of those things are toxic traits. I think I'm proud of the way I am.
Yeah, no,
and
I
Grant
get
hates
that.
that. That's
Yeah.
my toxic trait. Grant's toxic traits are the ones that are just hurting him, and like that, you know, like I don't think they're bad or anything. I just think like, you know, lock himself in his apartment and like willingly be depressed and like kind of like create this feedback loop of depression and being really sad. And
See, that's toxic. That's
you know,
an actual,
you enjoy it in some capacity, I understand.
That's an actual legitimate toxic trait or concern about about somebody's personality. Not you're fucking toxic for matching your 401k. Like, what the fuck is that?
But it's like I think it is like by definition pretty unhealthy.
You enjoy it?
He
Enjoy
enjoys
what?
being sad.
Dude, being sad is so nice. Like, it's just like, I don't know how to put it. Like, I feel like it's something
I don't
like
think
I
I've
have to
ever
like,
heard that before.
That's what I'm saying.
Please elaborate.
It's a toxic trait. It's like not.
it's
not
like
bad.
beautiful. I don't know how to put it. It's just like when you're sad and you're just like looking longingly into like the city and you're like sipping tea and writing something. It's so beautiful. You know what I mean? And
You're blowing my mind. So when you're happy, are you sad that you're not happy? I mean, that you're.
well, there's
I can't even.
when you're happy, you lose a lot when you're happy. For example, I feel like people lose their ability to create art when they're happy. I don't know, maybe I go too far in like the other end of things and just like pursuing sadness for sadness sake, but I think I live like a very beautiful life because I'm like sad.
No, you actually live a fucking miserable life because you're sad. That's what, it makes total sense why he doesn't even think like, well, why are you matching your 401k? You might be dead tomorrow, because he's probably thinking about killing himself every day, which is not a good thing at all. That's not good at all. You need help. You need to call the suicide hotline, like 100%. You need to see somebody. That's not good, be living sad. That's actually, you know, for lack of a better term, it's like I'm giving a circular definition. That's actually fucking depressing. That's depressing to think that living sad is actually good. Like you're just basking in your own fucking pity. Like that doesn't make any sense. You actually are miserable, and it's the total opposite of what being happy is. You cannot say you're happy because you're sad. Those two things do not align. They cannot happen at the same time.
The final prompt is, there's something that I haven't said enough to my best friend lately that I want to say now. Make your split decisions in 3, 2. All right, everybody, go ahead and turn around. You know, let's start with you, Christian.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm not the best, I guess, at
Love you,
showing
man.
emotions a lot of the time. I don't know. I feel like I didn't never tell him how much I really appreciate him, and like just having him around and just kind of having someone that I know I can count to.
I mean, I tell him all the time, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm like, love you, man. Like, you're such a good guy.
Grant.
I miss you. I know, like, this is like the first time that we've been like significantly apart from each other, like since growing up, and I miss your kindness. You know, I think being around you really restores my faith in humanity, makes me more trusting, and I think being away from you makes me more cynical, and that I do miss you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, you know, I take every opportunity I can to just, you know, I love you, Grant. You're my best friend. Biffle buddies for life.
Jeremy.
You know, I think you already know this, just how much I care about you, and I appreciate you allowing me to open up and not being judged for who I am. I really appreciate that. And I still hate you for going to Taylor Swift Eras Tour without me, but besides that, we're good.
Again without you, yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, like I'm not that much of an emotional person outwardly, but when I meet him, he's always there. So just if you don't already know it, you know I love you to death, and
Feelings mutual.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects where like I've struggled with like health stuff, and in a situation where a lot of people assume the worst, he's taking the time out of his day to make sure things are cool and to not assume the worst and actually be there to help me out. And he's a pretty caring guy. You know, it's hard to find people like him, and it's hard to find people who are ride or die like him. He's a genuine guy, and I definitely don't tell him enough.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Same here. I mean, I do tell him all the time. Like the last time I told him was like on Christmas, so that's been too long for me. So yeah, I appreciate him. I love him so much. It's so awesome to have like a best friend that you can have so many differences with, but also just at the end of the day be able to be like, okay, we'll put all that aside, all of that's so stupid. We're still really good friends at the end of the day. Doesn't matter.
All right, guys, I'm gonna give you a hard challenge here for a lot of us guys, but can each of us just, you know, look our best friend in the eye and just say, I love you.
I love you, Christian, bro. I really do.
I love you too, Manny.
I love you too, Grant.
Yeah, but I think his I love you, Grant's I love you is actually, he really loves him. I think some of these guys are like into each other. They just don't want to admit that they're into each other for the fear of ruining a 10+ years friendship. Because a lot of these guys been best friends for, you know, 10+ years, like 15, 19 years. I saw a couple of them. So Grant has feelings for his best friend, and then I think the other two guys should date. And I think the bisexual dude probably has feelings for his friend too. That's just my opinion. But I like this video. Overall, I thought it was a good video. I like that these guys were vulnerable. I've never been afraid to be vulnerable in a certain aspect with my best friend. Like one of them just recently had a birthday, you know, and then, you know, wished him happy birthday, and I told him I love you, man, and I miss you. Because I haven't seen him. It's been a couple months. Last time I saw him was for my birthday when I went down to Florida. But I thought it was a good video, and sometimes it's nice to tell your friends good things. Overall, yeah, I really enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed my video, please consider leaving a like, subscribe, and join the Discord link in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.